Greetings everyone, welcome back. And well, for today's match, I got a match that I got the replay file on my Starcraft 2 replays email that you guys can send replays if you think they're really quality replays and they're hard to get. You know that there are several replays that you can easily get on most of the websites, the databases, but occasionally there's some that are not that easy to find, and I think this is one of those situations. So I need to thank the viewer that took his time to send me this replay, and he recommended me this game, said that the game is huge, it's awesome, and I need to cast it, so I guess I'm gonna sit down and take a look at it. The worst thing that can happen is that viewer being a troll and is just trolling me or rickrolling me, and I'm gonna have a big disappointment. But if that's the case, the game won't be uploaded. So if you're watching this, the game was good, or at least was interesting. So focusing a bit on the match, and enough with the thanks and the emails and all of those references, you're gonna have a face-off here, a TVZ. On the Z side, you're gonna have the red Zerg, SlayerSCella. As you guys know, he went by the name of CellaWeRRa before. He was on the WeRRA team that, well, kinda got disbanded long time ago for some issues that they had there. I already discussed that in the past. And he went for Slayer's team from Slayer's Boxer, and for Slayers to give him a spot, as you might imagine, is because Cella has some qualities, and hopefully he's gonna show us some of that on this matchup. Also, another detail I would like to mention is that Cella is one of the favorites of the community because he streams a lot, shows a lot of his matches, and being a Korean pro gamer, it's always nice to watch him, and he's one of the most kindest and gentle pro gamers streaming currently, so he's always have a little bit of time to share some stuff with his fans, and this is the case. Was kinda hard to find some images of Cella, but I was able to manage those little clips, so I hope you guys enjoy them. And he's going to be facing here against this blue Terran that some of you might recognize the name Masq. On the early stages of Starcraft 2, a bit after the release, was very well recognized because the guy entered by storm the scene and started defeating and having battles, huge battles against some of the top references. I remember Masq versus livestreamer. I think he played against TLO as well, and some other guys. He's on the North American servers. He's a Canadian Terran player, but he kind of disappeared under my radar. I'm not sure if you guys followed his performances or if he's been playing up on the tournament scene. But what I did check is that he's still active and playing. He's on 3,800 points on the Masters League in the North American server, so kind of solid Terran player here, and hopefully he's gonna put up a nice show because I remember him being very creative, aggressive, and on the aggressive bit, as you can see, 2 racks opening with already a bunker right on the front of his opponent's ramp to the main base, even denying him any attempt of getting the natural expo anytime soon. He's going for the aggressive bit. Let's see about the creativity, because back on the day he was very well renowned. People were expecting a lot of him, but he kind of disappeared. At least, well, I wasn't able to follow him, so you guys can correct me if he actually didn't disappear. So following a bit of the match and taking a look at what's going on here, as you can see, you're gonna have this attempt to get a hatchery on the natural expo, but with this bunker loaded with marines, this is not gonna be easy. Cell is just trying to make as many of those Zerglings as possible to apply some aggression here, but from what I can see, yeah, he had to cancel that. There's no chance there, and Cella trying to counter with an offensive of his own, sending several Zerglings straight into that mineral line and try to stop all of that aggression from Masq by just finishing off his mineral line. Masq trying to micro those SCVs, making sure they won't get killed, and even trying to get a nice surround and just clamp on those Zerglings, killing all of them. For now, losing some SCVs, there's not much of the Zergling force that got sent here, so Masq apparently being defending this just fine. There's already some Marines here trying to get a surround on the Zerglings, and soon enough, yeah, they won't even be able to come out of this place. As you can see, he just made a wall off here to finish off the Zergling harass, and now the Marines are going to finish off the last one. So it's done here. A second wave of Zerglings advanced by Cella, this time getting a nice surround on the bunker, and it's going to get finished. Not much left of the Marine force that was inside the bunker, and at the same time getting the hatchery. So even doing that defensive opening, or at least cautious opening by Cella, he went for the spawning pool first. Still he was an easy target for that aggression, was forced to cancel his natural expo, but now finally establishing it there. And now Masq attempting to place some bunkers, but there's still no forces inside the bunkers. He's trying to salvage and get some of that money back, but there's a wave of Zerglings just surrounding everything. Finally the Marines coming down the ramp, and I don't think, let's see if he's able to, no, he wasn't able to destroy that bunker that was getting established here, and he's gonna get finished and probably repaired later on. So Cella finally establishing his 2-base play. His hatchery is almost finished, with his opponent already working out of 2 bases, and being a Terran, this is kinda complicated, though as you can see on the main base there's not much of a mineral line working currently, and all of these Zerglings from Cella still harassing here, trying to poke at this barracks and finish them off if possible, but for now there's plenty of defenses, and apparently Masq going for a very defensive position here, getting a lot of static defenses, a lot of bunkers there. Mineral line on the main base, as you can see, it's kind of scarce, doesn't have many workers. Income wise, let's take a look. Yeah, 21 against 20, so it is balanced on the harvester count, but on the economy there's a huge difference there. As you can see, we have Masq just pumping away, going ahead and dominating here. Obviously the mules help on that subject as well, but the gap was quite big, and now finally Cella trying to balance with his hatchery popping on the natural expo, and finally being able to transfer some workers to even out the income and not lose more terrain on the economy game, so he can stay on this game and keep battling. Another thing I would like to mention is, you guys are pretty sure already noticed that this is the map that is meant to replace Lost Temple on the ladder, and well, it has some kind of changes. I'm not sure if I can call it even a revamp from the Lost Temple map, but they took several of those ledges that could be abused. Now there's a ramp with the rocks on both sides that can be used for assaults later on, and also the middle of the map now is wide open and probably will allow long concaves, long lines of units to fight against each other. So they kind of like removed some of the ledges that could be abused by drops and such. Trying just to even out the matchups, I guess, and get a more even and balanced map for all the races. Obviously you guys will have your opinions about it. I'm just want to show you here that you can see the central bit is quite open. There's already an exploit, well, not an exploit, but a way of abusing this map with some blinks from here to this platform and straight from that platform into this base. This already got shown into some videos on YouTube and on Team Liquid. And now focusing on the match once again, incoming banelings, they're focusing straight into that bunker, but there's some barracks in front of it, all of them exploding right on top of that racks. Not actually destroying the racks, but setting it on fire. It's almost finished up, and Masq is going to lose some buildings here. Already lost a bunker there, and now losing the racks, but still plenty of defenses, and forcing Cella once again to pull back, and has to reinforce once again his army to try to attempt another push. Meanwhile, he went from that strong 2 racks play and even had 3 racks here, as you guys can see. Now he's slowly transitioning into mech, or at least mixing it with his bio units. Both of them with tech labs, getting siege tanks out, and the siege tech almost finished. And there's not much else going on the main base. There's the engineering bay to get some upgrades, and meanwhile he's just trying to establish a nice defensive positioning here. I think he might be worried about some kind of surprise incoming from these rocks, or even preparing himself to make the assault towards this way. That's why he's trying to establish his defenses towards the left side of his natural expo. For now, Cella once again advancing with his roaches, getting instantly blasted by those siege tanks and has to pull back. This is a nice defensive position by Masq. And meanwhile, on the main base and natural expo from Cella, let's take a look at the main base. Getting now the lair tech finally. Roach Warren is up and running. As you can see, there are already 2 attempts to assault the natural expo from Masq with roaches. One of them actually got one of those racks destroyed and one of the bunkers. But for now there's not much going on. They're just both macroing out. I think that Cella might be still a bit behind. Well, econ wise it's kind of balanced, and he's been committing himself to a lot of drones. 58 against 47, hence the balanced. Obviously the Terran player will get those mules running and get a nice boost on his income every time a mules come down, so he doesn't need that many workers. But apparently I would say that Cell is preparing himself to get a 3rd base, which is getting established now all the way south far away from where all the action is, so probably getting all of those workers to get some of them transferred soon enough and advancing to a 3-base play. He needs to keep ahead of the Terran player, or else he might be in trouble soon enough. For now, all of the units from Masq shooting down those rocks, clearing the path towards his opponent's natural expo, and when he clears these rocks, he will have a nice positioning here to prepare an assault into this natural expo. Hopefully Cella will be ready to defend it. He spotted the movement with the overlords. Obviously there was an overlord getting shot there. There it is, the rocks getting cleared. Meanwhile, he must be preparing a drone transfer into that base all the way south. I'm pretty sure it's getting almost finished. Let's take a look. Yes, it is almost popping, and at the same time grabbing the gas. And whoa, Spire and Burrow getting researched. So we're gonna transition into some airplay. Mutalisks are quite effective if you properly microed, obviously. I'm pretty sure that Cella might have some plans, maybe to try to finish off these siege tanks, but with all these marines flying around, it's gonna be deadly, it's gonna be dangerous. Nice advance here by Cella. A lot of banelings exploding on those marines and siege tanks. Didn't clear much, only the top of the front line, like the spearhead, and there's still plenty of siege tanks established there with range to blast anything that moves on this corridor here, and even having a range now for the hatchery and the mineral field. So this is getting dangerous here for Cella. Cella getting the first Mutalisks out that might be a good help against these siege tanks, but he needs more than this small group here. I mean, only 5 Mutalisks won't do the trick. Though he's still slowly pushing this front line from Masq, pulling it back, making sure he's not going to be able to reach that natural expo, and well, he obviously needs to contain the advance here. Masq actually turning a difficult and bold approach to his expansion strategy into a profit, because as you can see, he's just trying to get, or he was trying to get the command center into that location there on the minimap. It was trying to get it here on this place and just expanding towards his opponent, something that is not very simple to do. He was attempting it, I guess it was failed. We already seen the command center pulling back, and now we just have Cella working out almost of 4 bases. There's the 4th one already getting established, so he will be starting boosting his economy tremendously and starting to gain on the economy game, leading the way and powering up his army, getting closer and closer to the max 200, and probably when he gets to that point, he'll start to advance on his opponent. For now, as we can check on this moment, Masq is hanging here. He knows that it's risky to establish his base there, so he might be waiting to have enough forces to establish a proper defense there. These 2 marines are going to get finished so quickly, oh my god. And taking a look at the bases, as you can see, there's more racks getting pumped there, 3 racks. There's already on the back the armory, so I guess we're going to have some Thors pumping out pretty soon. There's 3 of them getting built, so 5 racks play for now and 3 factories. Quite a solid and strong composition there. He's gonna have a lot of options, and for now I think he just wants to finish off this Mutalisk harass, because this Mutalisk wing is getting really big, and with all of those missile turrets and Thors, he's gonna be able to make a lot of damage into this wing and force CellaWeRRa maybe to transition into something else. For now, Cella using the magic box to finish off those 2 Thors. Nice play, but now those missile turrets are just hurting so much the Mutalisk wing, and there's not much left of what started this assault, so massive damage done there. Still some of them, 8 Mutalisks, but I guess that Cella needs to be careful. He needs to be able to control properly and micro properly all of those units, or he's just losing a lot of Mutalisks and draining his mineral lines and gas way too fast based on the damage that he's actually doing. Units lost, as you can see, Cella just going way ahead. He lost a lot more also on the resources, and he needs to be able to manage this, make sure he's not gonna lose too much, or else he's gonna just slowly give the edge to Masq. At least econ wise, he's gonna be able to get more units and preserve them a lot better than Cella. Nice minefield here, still haven't used it, probably waiting for some big bio ball to pass here or something like that. Most of the marines are already on this side, so I'm not sure exactly what's his plan, but for now there's not much for him to explode. And meanwhile, Cella is just establishing his advance here with a lot of Mutalisks, backed up by Zerglings, entering this natural expo once more, straight into the main base. Thors and missile turrets once more. He's going to finish up this one quite quickly. but at what price? He keeps losing a lot of Mutalisks to try this approaches here, to try this harass. And though he's finishing up all of those Thors, I'm hoping that he prepares to transition or reinforce his army to an extent that he's actually able to pierce these defenses, because Masq is just working out of 3 bases. He has his main almost mined out, completely drained, and he's slowly getting a lot of units on this corridor, preparing himself to start blasting away at everything on this natural expo and any unit that might be established on the creep here in front of the base. We do see Cella heading the right way. He's been expanding towards the south, avoiding all of the action, making sure he's going to have a stable economy out of those bases, and that shows on his economy. He's leading on the harvester count, not by much. On the econ game, fairly close, not very far away, but now apparently he's going to get a big hit because Masq decided to just pull and advance into this base of Cella, finishing off what was his natural expo. He has a lot of units there on that right side, as you guys can see, but apparently he's not decided to move. He's just hanging here while a small group of Marines, backed up by a Thor, advance up the ramp into the main base. And this might be painful for Cella because he's just gonna lose a lot of his production buildings if he allows Masq to enter the place. Magic Box instantly destroying that Thor so quickly. Second Thor advancing, but there's a lot of Mutalisks here. This is not gonna be easy, and all of these Mutalisks finishing off the mech army. There's not enough Marines here to shoot them down, and Masq losing a lot of units here. Let's take a look at the army count currently. 131 for Cella, 146 for Masq. So a bit of an edge here for Masq, though nothing that Cella can't recover. For now, let's take a look also at the unit composition. 18 Mutalisks, 6 Banelings, 32 Zerglings, and a bunch of mech, 7 siege tanks, 2 Thors, and then a lot of bio, 37 Marines. It's the unit composition for Masq. Once again here, Cella trying to advance up the ramp, making sure that his opponent is contained, but he just lost his natural expo here. He's working out of this main base that it's completely drained on the mineral field, and look at the amount of workers he has here. He's going to have to transfer all of this. But Cella has been taking care of his macro, he's been expanding, draining his bases and advancing meanwhile. Hatchery, a second one getting established on that it was, I think, his 4th base. No, I'm sorry, his 3rd base getting established there, and he's just trying to produce and out macro his opponent with those 2 hatcheries here, and playing out of 3 bases currently, trying to out macro him. When this hatchery is out, he's going to be able to have more larvae, and hopefully we're going to see his army just rise up to the occasion and fight out against this army from Masq. The problem is that he's losing all of his buildings here on what was his spawning point, his spawning base. There goes the Baneling's nest, and he has a lot to lose here. His lair tech was initially researched here, and he's just getting all his tech back on other buildings. As you can see, look, infestation pit, a second spire getting built there, the lair getting transmuted into a hive, and so he's just basically rebuilding everything while grabbing a bunch of bases. So once again, and soon enough, gonna be working out of 5 bases, though this one doesn't have much, and with all of these units knocking on the door, this might spell trouble for Cella. He's probably gonna be playing out of 4 bases soon enough. Still, nice expansion here. He's been expanding properly, accordingly. He knows that he needs to keep his economy game balanced because his opponent has been working out of 3 bases for a long time, and soon enough he's going to be hurt on the economy. As you can see, Cella is now double on the income compared to his opponent. There's a big wave of Mutalisks advancing once again into these frontline forces from Masq, surrounding and getting that magic box on top of the Thors, trying to finish off the Thor as fast as possible. Oh, didn't finish it. A lot of Marines came up to help out, finish off that harass with the Mutalisks, and make sure the Thors will be able to stand up and defend themselves. Hopefully with some SCVs he can even repair some, I would say. I'm not sure if he's gonna decide to go for that or not. But like I was mentioning, as you can see here, he's just finishing up what was the main base from Cella, and meanwhile Masq on his main base totally drained, his expo almost totally drained, and he's basically working out of a single mineral line, which is painful for his income. I mean, look at the difference there. As you can see, though the harvester count is similar, there's a huge difference on the income, because Cella was able to keep his expansionist politics to advance here and keep grabbing more and more bases. And while Masq finishes off his main base, he already replenished and re-established all of these buildings on another place. So we have now a small Zergling wave advancing into this forward outpost that Masq established here. He even placed a lot of missile turrets there. But if you take a look, Cell is working fine off this base. It's the most recent one. This one working fine as well. Still needs some more drones there. This one with 2 hatcheries just pumping most of the army from Cella. And then you have as well here the hive tech with all of the buildings, and even the greater spire getting ready, and he's preparing a lot of broodlords to pop out soon enough. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. We're going to have broodlords on the fray, also some infestors. They're quite effective against this bio. You can just hold all of those marines and kill them with basically 2 fungal growth. So it is a good option. Not actually, let me look at the upgrades. Yeah, only 1 on the upgrades there on the marine, so he'll be able to put them down with 2 fungal growth. And meanwhile, on Cella's side, let's see the upgrades. No upgrades whatsoever. Also infestors, nothing. The Zerglings, nothing. Basically, Cella didn't commit himself to upgrades. I actually didn't saw any Evo chamber, that's a fact. But the fact is that at the moment he's trying to contain his opponent, leave him just drying out on those bases that he currently has. And as you guys know, it's only a single mineral line. He's now attempting to get the rich mineral field to even out his economy and try to come back to replenish his army faster than Cella. But as you can see, we have Cella close to max, and Masq as well very close to max, advancing with Broodlord straight into those marines and Thor. I guess this is kind of a risky maneuver, not a good idea. Look at the Broodlords going down so fast. Infestors coming to try to finish off the marines. Nice fungal growth, trying to kill several of those marines on that small pack there, on that small bio ball. And now a huge mech force advancing, a mass of Thors. I need to check these armies. How many Thors does he has? Let's take a look. 8 Thors, 8 siege tanks, 21 marines against 23 mutalisks. We also have 2 broodlords, infestors, and zerglings and banelings. So a bigger variety on the Cella side. And let me just take a look at his bases once more. Getting spawning pool there once more to get more zerglings out, and grabbing now the rich mineral field. So working out of 5 bases soon enough. All of them have minerals on their fields, as you can see. So he's just fine, while Masq is finally grabbing here this mineral field, this one, and this one. So 3 mineral fields for Masq, trying to make sure he's going to be able to even out the economy. Still very far behind, and this will have a price. I would say that if Cella decides to commit himself to a large-scale push, he's going to be able to destroy most of Masq forces, and then he can replenish, and Masq won't be able to keep up with his replenishment of his army. So might be an option. As you can see now, instantly Masq boosting out his economy by, I don't know, a lot, 1 million, because he just dropped a bunch of mules and sent all of his SCVs into the rich mineral field. And look at the difference here. Whoa, Masq is gonna just benefit from such an econ, and look at how much he has already piled out. Almost 6k on the minerals. This is just brutal. And once again, Broodlords advancing into the forces from Masq. Masq now leading the economy game by far. Just grabbing that rich mineral field made all the difference, and now killing off most of these marines. But this is kind of risky, once again leaving all of his broodlords unprotected. Infestors incoming to help out, stopping this fairly slow and immobile army. There's a lot of Thors bashing away at the broodlords. Let's take a look. As you can see, the broodlords just go down fairly fast against such an amount of Thors. And there's not much left of this Broodlord force, and Cella just wasting some of his resources, I would say. He's now trying to make an advance now with this Mutalisk wing up on the north, straight into the main base, which has lots of the production facilities from Masq, but not sure exactly if this is what he's supposed to be doing. He's trying to thwart Masq production, but he doesn't have much of an army itself. Let's take a look after that battle. Yeah, we have Cella falling back by a lot, while Masq is completely maxed out, 200-200. And this is the time that Cella needs to step up and get his army as close as possible to Masq, because if Masq decides to make a push anytime soon, he will be in trouble. Lots of upgrades incoming for Masq, as you can see, the level 3 infantry weapons and vehicle weapons. Also here on Cella side, finally level 1 on the attack and neural parasite for his infestors getting researched. I think that Cella ignored for much too long his upgrades and should take care of them, because as you just saw, Masq is already on level 3 upgrades, and this will show on the battlefield. So, advancing once again, incoming the forces from Masq, straight into the forces from Cella that were just trying to center here on the center of the map. And oh, this Broodlord is gonna get killed so quickly. A nice fungal growth there, trying to contain the advance of the Bio Ball and just grinded them down, chipping them away on their HP. And now all the forces, a huge mech force, clearly mech on this case. Look at the amount of Thors pushing ahead with some Marines backing it up on the front line, destroying the rich mineral field for Cella, so a huge blow there. And now incoming a massive push here, lots of lots of neural parasite trying to control the Thors, enter them against the Thors from Masq, destroying some of them. Nice fungal growth. Will this be enough? It's not. His infestors are getting killed, and he doesn't have much of that Thor force that was neural parasite and was shooting against the Thors from Masq. So basically it's finished here, and this very fragile infestors will be killed. There's a single Broodlord trying to send some Broodlings to kill some of these units, but there's not much left from the forces from Cella. And now the Marines pulling down all the way south. Ooh, nice Baneling splash there, just smashing and splashing so much acid into those Marines' bodies, melting them away. And now small forces of Marines making short incursions into what's left of the bases from Cella. Cella was supposed to be able to replenish his army a lot faster than this, I would say, but that gold base has been a big benefit for Masq, and we just see small forces advancing into the bases from Cella, while the bulk of the forces from Masq apparently will be massing up here on the center of the field and advancing towards south to finish off Cella. Will be Cella able to resist this? I don't think so. The econ game shows that Masq will be able to replenish his forces a lot faster, and now the Broodlord just trying to finish off this small wave, but there's already a blue blob getting masked up on the center of the map and slowly advancing. Mech force backed up by Bio. Once again, those Banelings trying to explode on the Marines, not very successful, and as you can see, we have now Masq leading the charge, almost maxed out, 186 against 123. It is a big difference, and it will show in the battle. So Cella just trying a desperate move to resist this offense, losing another base, losing another hatchery, and the mech force finishing off what's left of those Broodlords, just killing all of them off, and even shooting down the ones that are there on top of the ramp. There's only 2 Broodlords left, so not much left from the forces from Cella. Let's take a look at the unit. As you can see here, 1 Broodlord, 13 Marines. This Thor's assault there, while the rest of the forces from Masq advance in south, and oh, massive damage done there with the Banelings. The Zerglings finishing off, wrapping up that group of Marines, but now they have to deal with the Thors, and the Thors are just way too powerful. As you can see, the upgrades 3-3 against 1 assault on the Broodlords, and I think that Cella is just paying the fact that he didn't commit himself to a lot of upgrades. He's just paying the bill for it, and though he had a fairly powerful force, it's not enough. With the units from Masq advancing slowly towards each of his bases, finishing them one by one, and this mineral line is gonna get killed as well. Let's take a look at the worker count. The army here 168 against 81, and income wise, as you can see, Cella, the number of harvesters is just slowly going down as he loses more and more bases. Meanwhile, on Masq side, he has most of his bases all completely drained. I gotta take a look at that gold base, because I think he just sucked that place completely dry, and the bulk of his forces are just advancing straight south into this natural expo, trying to finish off this place that had the 2 hatcheries pumping. And at the same time, notice that Masq is advancing with 1 of his orbital commands, because his bases are completely weared out, completely drained, and he needs to keep balancing his income. He needs to produce more units to finish off on this very long, very intense matchup against SlayerSCella, or CellaWeRRa. Some of you might know it by CellaWeRRa. the bulk of the forces here, a lot of banelings trying to advance, most of them getting shot while they pass through the marines. Oh, they were finally able to reach the marines, but so many banelings lost there. I'm not sure if it was worth it. And now the hatchery is getting finished, and SlayerSCella just noticing the obvious. He didn't have what it take. Masq was just completely dominating him on this situation. And yeah, I was wanting to take a look at this rich mineral field because he had so many workers here. He just sucked dry completely the place, drained it immensely, and well, he had so many workers that he drained every base that he had. Whoa, that's why he was expanding and trying to get an orbital command here to keep getting some minerals out. So pretty long and intense matchup here. Whoa, a lot of mech in the end by Masq, and Masq finally taking the win out of Cella's hand. Also noticed that something that I noticed, and I'm pretty sure you guys noticed as well, that tipped the scale on Cella's favor was the on Masq's favor was the moment he got this rich mineral field. We even witnessed the income just boosting completely and entering light speed and going way above anything that SlayerSCella was able to put out of his mineral field. So pretty impressive there. Masq still showing us that he got what it takes. I would like to see more of him on the tournament scene. Maybe one day, I guess, we'll see. And well, I hope you guys enjoyed this matchup, okay? See you all later, have fun.